Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our regular community. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 34,248, up 1.75%. Ethereum trading at 2158, up 1.19%. If you're new to the channel, I'd just like to let you know that everything I do for you is free. Twice a day, 7 days a week, I share my experience as a full-time crypto trader. I have hidden crypto gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Just like to also let you know, we have 100% free groups on Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. You can also reach out to me anytime and direct message me on those platforms. I'd like to say an enormous thank you to our moderators inside YouTube. Removing those spam comments has just been a blessing. Thank you so much. I'd like to share Rule 703 with you. Worth causes wealth. Now, what does that mean? Let's have a look at losses. In the past, everybody's made mistakes, even had trauma. We've been pulled in by media fear, and we sometimes don't understand as much as we know we should. If we get pulled in by past mistakes and don't learn from them, we can repeat them, and that can cause losses, or even worse yet, missed opportunities. If we have past trauma and we expect the future to be full of the trauma that we experienced in the past, again, we'll get into losses and missed opportunities. If we are guided by the media, and this is something that I always do my best to share with you, don't be guided by the media. They blow in the wind. They don't have a lot of signal. There is some signal amongst all of that noise, but it's mainly noise. If we are guided by the media, that can create losses and also missed opportunities. If you don't have enough knowledge, it's easy to pick incorrectly. That can cause losses and missed opportunities. I'd just like to give a shout out to Earl Stokes, who designed this beautiful little logo. Thank you, Earl. No matter what challenges and trauma and mistakes have been made in the past, today is a new day. In fact, Buddha said it so well. No matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. And that is what trading and investing allows you to do. Every day, opportunities reset. You can start fresh. It's really, really important to think that way. We talk a lot on this particular channel inside our community about being more of a blessing to yourself and a blessing to other people. That blessing comes from understanding what real wealth is. If you look back at the past and you define yourself by your mistakes, your traumas, your fears, your potential lack of knowledge, that's not you. That's a fake you. If you learn and accept and release these areas of pain, you grow in terms of yourself and what you can contribute in this world. The real you is skillful. You are rare and unique, always learning. If you apply understanding and you're compassionate, that will attract real wealth. What is real wealth? It's security, love and friendship, independence from the system, and respect. We are all about this inside our community. It's not simply about making money. It is about having real wealth, and that involves so much more than money. Henry Ford said it really well. Of course, Henry Ford is the founder of the Ford Motor Company, and he was the developer of the assembly line technique for mass production. What a contribution Henry made. He said, failure is simply an opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. This episode today is a little bit special. I'll look at the trend and the timing and the trigger all in one episode, because as far as the trend goes, not much has changed in the stock market because it's closed. Let's have a look at Rule 174, T cubed, trend, timing, and trigger. When we look at trend, we can turn to the KS model. The KS model is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology. The important thing with this model is to understand how to compare the same psychologies. We compare sun to sun, darkness to darkness, and dawn to dawn. In between each halving, from a halving to the next halving, there are three separate buckets that occur. A bull market, a bear market, consolidation. Next halving, bull market, bear market, consolidation. Next halving, bull market, bear market, and there will be consolidation as well. It's important when you're in a particular area. We're in the bull market at the moment. We've had a retracement. It's been a bit rough, but it's not certainly as rough as some of these retracements in the previous bull market. It's just been a bit more elongated. Probably Elon Musk. I don't know. I don't think so. Anyway, just joking. Now, in the bull market, it's really important to go back and compare an apple to an apple. Compare bull market behavior to bull market behavior. Now, why don't we just compare the bull market to the bear market? Okay, there's a really, really good reason. It's called the law of mathematical consistency. When we compare dissimilar psychological types, we can actually get erroneous results. In the bear market, it's nighttime. The bull market is sunshine. You don't compare sunshine to darkness except to see the difference. But if you compare sunshine and expect the same behavior that is occurring when everybody's losing 80% of their money, it's not the same thing. In a bull market, the overwhelming trend is up. This is simply a corrective stance in the market. We've still got a long way to go. When you get to the bear market, you know you've reached the top. It's downhill from there, all the way down to literally 85% down. But because Bitcoin and cryptos act exponentially, even 85% down means nothing. We saw that yesterday in the last episode with Axie Infinity. It actually decreased 85% and then rallied up 300% from the previous high that it came down 85% from. Maybe look back to that particular episode, episode 145, and you'll see exactly what we mean. So let's zoom in a little bit on the current price action. If you're following the series on how to draw trend lines, you can already see a big repair in Bitcoin's price. You can see it actually going up right now. Remember, this is a real-time model. It's tracking the price in real time. We can zoom in, we can do all sorts of crazy things with this diagram. We are expecting a most likely high between 288,000 and 486,000, an absolute minimum high of 132,000. I won't go too much into this. There's been a Medium article written on it to explain these lengthening cycles. 2012 cycle, the 2016 cycle was 43% longer than the 2012 cycle, and it caught a lot of people off guard. This cycle should at least be 43% longer than the previous cycle. We always go with the trend. If you go against the trend, you're likely to get financially slaughtered. It's really, really important to play along with the trend. We turn to on-chain data to see if there are any weaknesses in Bitcoin's price. We know Bitcoin basically controls the market. It's so important to look at. Bitcoin, number of transfers to exchanges, all exchanges. If we look back to the past cycle peak, which was the 2016 halving cycle peak, we notice all these massive transfers to exchanges. We go to what we're in right now, we see just the opposite. There's no endemic behavior that would signify that we're anywhere near a top, just on this particular piece of on-chain data, which is probably the most important one. Another important indicator is the stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator. This just measures how stablecoins are being deployed into Bitcoin. These stable coins are being deployed into Bitcoin at the moment. When we see this kind of behavior, it's indicative of increasing prices. I thought I'd do something a little bit new for you today. I always love giving you different perspectives on data. Every day is a different day. I'm always throwing something different in. I want you to never be bored. I love change. Bitcoin number of addresses with a balance above 10,000 Bitcoins. We can see as price went up here, the number of addresses with a balance greater than 10,000 Bitcoins came down. You can see it's consolidating here. If you draw lines across this, you can see that there was a resistance line. It's now passed into consolidation. You can see price going up. This is very, very healthy for cryptos across the board. The next level of addresses that we can look at, Bitcoin number of addresses with a balance greater than 1,000 Bitcoins. We can see as price went up here, these balances started to go down. There was a bit of consolidation and down. We can see that resistance has been overcome. We've got consolidation here. This is really, really interesting to look at. This can give us some forewarning of any sell-offs. That's what we want to know. We're always seeking to keep one step ahead. This is a hidden crypto gem. Let's have a look at Bitcoin number of transactions per second. The more Bitcoin that come onto the market, the more transactions have to be processed. When you get these really, really big spikes up, it indicates a lot of on-chain activity, a lot of network activity. Now, we're quite low, almost at this stage here, just around that price, which we've mentioned many times before. It's around these areas that we see ourselves currently. There's a lot of space to go towards the top yet. We'll keep our eye on all of this data every day. We always want to see further than anyone else can see, and see more quickly too. Let's get into rule 1122, the KS method for timing. The first thing we do is look at news sentiment analysis from the perspective that we don't know anything about crypto whatsoever. Okay, top crypto news on July, major stories, boring, go no. Crypto prices today, Bitcoin up, ooh, that's positive. Bank of America supposedly give approval for Bitcoin. They're approving Bitcoin, that's awesome. I don't know what they're doing, but that's great. That must be positive. Just hold. Bitcoin and Ethereum outperform low risk crypto index funds. Oh, they're getting into the stock market. Pretty cool. 3 reasons why Bitcoin price has not been able to rally back. Oh, that sounds bad. That's a bit negative. Oh, now I'm confused. So many positive now and negative. I don't know what to do. Classic trading pattern has signaled that Bitcoin price had hit I don't know. I'd have to go and read it. I don't want to. I'm so busy. Can Bitcoin be a real currency? Wow, I don't know. Can it? Bitcoin, why we are still in a bull market? Oh, that's nice. That's a cute little thing. I wouldn't mind one of them, whatever that is. Bitcoin bulls must hold key price level this weekend. Well, I think they're doing pretty well. Bitcoin whales accumulated over 3 billion of Bitcoin while no one was watching and everybody was predicting 10,000 or $0 Bitcoin. Yeah, we're very, very aware of that. We follow the news every day. This is why I always say, read the news with one eye closed, one ear closed, and preferably half your brain closed, the one that processes information. The news is really distracting. Sometimes there's signal in it, but it mostly, about maybe 95%, it can be noise. Okay, let's get into crypto total market cap. Now, what is this chart telling you? This chart is saying if every single crypto was all added together and just given a price, how would that price move the market as a whole? This is exactly what this chart is telling you. Precisely. We can see, look at this incredible move up. When price was going down here, everybody was saying, 20,000 Bitcoin, 15,000, 10,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin wasn't listening. It doesn't listen. It's really all about the trend. That's why we have to look at the trend, or you'll get shaken out of your position. Now, what do we know about this general fingerprint of the market? We know that no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. And you say, what? What does that mean, Ken? Glad you asked. Here's an example. This is the price of Bitcoin. You can see its directional movement. See, this big spike up was from a big spike up in Bitcoin. This is almost inexplicable because it goes down to the 1 second chart across nearly 11,000 different cryptos. But it does do this. It's so scary. But it's not scary if you know how to use it. This is a secret crypto gem for you. Knowing Bitcoin's fingerprint, knowing how Bitcoin operates, will make you very profitable in the market. Not many people know this. I'm constantly surprised they don't know it. It's right there in front of them, but they don't see it for some reason. Maybe they believe it can't be the case, but we know it's the case because we investigate everything. Now, what is happening here? You see, when Bitcoin took off, it took the whole entire market with it. When it broke down, it took the whole entire market with it. We need to understand Bitcoin's price action. It's really important to safeguard your money, and of course, to help you to create much more wealth. So we can see here that price is always moving in a wave. Sharp angles reflect. We know these things on this channel. We see it all the time in the patterns, in the prices. Price is moving in a wave. It's done a very good wave up. We would be expecting a wave down at some stage, which means that you can buy down at support levels on your favorite altcoins. Down as low as you can go is good. Just keep in mind your fee structure. There is a level of overhead structural resistance that is stopping the price of all alts right now. This is important to understand. I was saying in the last episode, we expect price to wobble around this area, and that is exactly what it's done. It's just normal price behavior. It's not crystal ball gazing or anything. So total crypto market cap is $1.386 trillion. Good on you, Bitcoin and crypto and all the alts. You've done well. We know that the most important chart in the whole of crypto is Bitcoin. If we look into Bitcoin's technical analysis, we'll have a big understanding of how your alts are moving. It doesn't matter if you don't hold Bitcoin, you must look at the chart. Bitcoin is currently trading at $34,384. It's above this structural resistance and has turned it into structural support. That is awesome. Now, what do we know? When you look at this chart, what do you see? Do you see that there's a level of structural resistance at play just around $35,000? Maybe you could say $35,500 now. That's important. Price will seek to take this $35,500 level and turn it into support, just like what it's doing at the current price right now. That is incredibly healthy. When we get above there, we're going to have fresh air. Bitcoin can rock, but remember, never FOMO. Always seek to lower your average buy price by buying at support. Always buy at support, buy at support. You want to take account for these long spikes down. You never know where a top or a bottom is. You can only lay in wait and let price come to you. Bitcoin has support at 34,267 and 33,588. Let's have a look at how the Bitcoin longs and shorts are comparing against each other in terms of relative movement. We can see the longs, and there's a lot of them, they're going up. Some weakness in the longs right now. We can see the shorts, Shorts are being sucked out of the market. They're decreasing. I always do my best to read all comments across Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and YouTube. Generally I get to them, but sometimes I miss them. But I really want to call out to Milo. Milo did a very nice thing. He suggested that we have a look as a community at coinanalyze.net. That's coin, coinanalyze.net. I think it's a fantastic resource, and we're going to track this every day from now. We can see this is a perpetual future. We can see the price of Bitcoin going up. There's open interest, which is basically how interested people are in trading something. If they're not interested, or if they are, this open interest will change. There's also a funding rate. We're going to track this from now. I'm going to do some fairly deep dive videos for you to understand what all this means, but I'm just trying to get you familiar at the moment with it. So as we go deeper and deeper, you'll say, yeah, I understand all this. Yeah, I've seen this open interest. Open interest is increasing. Yeah. And I saw, the funding rate turned negative, and it turned negative, and it's now recovering. Yeah, I understand all this stuff. And then we'll just build all the foundations up for you to understand, hopefully, everything. That's the goal. Let's have a look at the options, especially the max pain for the July end of month expiration. There's all sorts of expirations in here. We just look at the end of the month for now, because that's the most heavily traded. The max pain price is the price at which most options expire worthless. And there's a rough rule of thumb that about 75% of options expire worthless anyway. Max pain price for Bitcoin is $34,000. I thought some other data could really help you out. I'm always seeking for data that I can share with you as a community. Everybody has different edges, and the community is filled with different people, some starting, some incredibly experienced people. And we're all on the same journey, just to be a blessing. Now, what do we notice about this? This is Bitcoin all exchanges estimated leverage ratio. What's the estimated leverage ratio, you say? Very glad you asked. Here you go. Open interest divided by the reserve of an exchange. And you say, hang on a sec, what's that mean? The number increase means more traders are willing to take more risks and punted positions with high leverage. This, when it goes up, people are saying, yeah, I feel pretty confident psychologically that prices are going to go up, so I'm interested. Let's do higher leverage. I think the main thing to understand, in a bull market, there are a lot more longs than shorts. In a bear market, the situation flips. That's why crossing psychological lines is very dangerous. That's why the KS model just compartmentalizes the different price behavior. That's explaining it on a much deeper level. That's another hidden crypto gem. Let's turn to Ethereum, the number 2 crypto. We look at Ethereum shorts. This is on Bitfinex. As measured, the number of margin shorts measured in ETH, we can see that number is decreasing, but recently started increasing. We see the number of margin longs measured in ETH, we see that increasing. This is all part of just keeping you aware of what's going on. And as I said, I will do much deeper dives into this. Let's have a look at the ETH perpetual on Binance. We can see the price of ETH in USD going here, going up. Now, what's happening with the predicted funding rate? It's been going down, starting to increase. What's been happening to open interest? Maybe I'll just raise that up a little bit. You can see it came down. Watch the price and the open interest. Price came up. What's happening? As price is coming up, what's open interest doing? It's basically going up, but we're seeing some leveling off here. There's a whole raft of trading strategies and all sorts of things that you can apply to these metrics, if you like. But for now, we're just going to cover them. Don't worry too much about it. Let's have a look at Ethereum options expiring at the end of the month. We can see the max pain price where most of these options expire worthless, still at $2,200. Let's turn now to liquidation data. Over the past 24 hours, 197.59 million in liquidations occurred to 58,554 traders. Over the past 12 hours, about 62% of liquidations were long. You can see not really any big spikes, not like what happened up here. Let's have a look on the 15-minute. We can see a majority of shorts getting liquidated at the present. Let's have a look at psychological safety and liquidations. Turning to the fear and greed index, with the first time we've exceeded extreme fear. We're now at just plain fear at 27. That's pretty cool. People are feeling better. You can see that if you were to draw a line down here, a resistance line, we've crossed over that resistance. Now, we know the price is always moving in a wave. Don't be freaked out if price comes down to create. This is a low. A higher low would be around here somewhere. Don't be concerned if that happens. That's normal price behavior. We can see from this particular graph, and this is a really, really important understanding. If you're an investor, you really generally don't mind where you buy. You just want to be in. What happens is the media pulls people in. When the market is experiencing extreme greed, people are buying at the top. When the market experiences extreme fear, people are selling at the bottom because of all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Inside our community, we're all about creating an institutional mindset. We buy when other people sell, and we sell when other people buy. It's really all about almost like being a firefighter. The building is on fire, flames everywhere. You're a professional, you run in to put the fire out. That's what we're doing. That's our mindset. As part of our process, timing process, we always look across the entire market. Let's have a look at the top 7. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, Binance Coin, Cardano, XRP, and USDC. What's happened to the past 24-hour percent gainers? Internet Computer, TEL, Theta, Rev, T-Fuel, NEAR, and IOTA. Let's go the other way. Greatest losses past 24 hours, Rune, Dash, Sushi, CRV, Axie Infinity, Flow, and AMP. You will have noticed that Rune has stayed at the #1 position for losing money. If anybody in the community understands what might be happening to Rune, and for example Dash, that would be really interesting. I'd love to see your comments and what you feel is happening here. It can be very useful to the community as well. Let's have a look at the greatest 7-day percent gainers. Axie Infinity, TEL, Theta, Internet Computer, OKB, T-Fuel, and Flow. Let's go the other way. Let's see the greatest losses over the past 7 days. Rune, MDX, Synthetics, KCS, Rev, Ravencoin, and HBAR. Yesterday, we took a look at the revenues of Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is being driven by actual fundamental drivers. Always be careful about getting into something when it's advertised. You don't want to be in a situation where you're advertised, and you're buying at the top, and then price shoots down, you sell only for price to go up again. It happens all the time in crypto. Crypto is so volatile. Just stay safe. Always think about layering your buys at support. Now I can hear some people saying, Ken, what is support? What are you talking about? Support, resistance? I don't understand these things. please have a look at episode 93, Drawing Structural Support and Structural Resistance. This is a really useful video. It can give you some insights on how you can mark up a chart from zero, basically. I don't assume any prior knowledge. I'm just here to help. Of course, reach out and let me know what else you would like me to cover. I'm here for everyone in the community. I was mentioning before that Axie Infinity is a little bit of an animal. Here you can see Axie Infinity basically from around the 5th of April went up around 100%. And then it said, I think I'll go down a bit. And it went down 84%. And then it came up within 10 days, 242%. And then it says, I think I'll go down again. And it went down 50%. And then it said, wow, I think I'm time to fly. It went 873% up and then 52% down. And then it went up again. Now it's coming down. You can see how volatile crypto is. It's really important that you understand this. You don't need leverage. You don't need to go and get free money. If, for example, you're going to a site and they're offering you $2,000 free money, it doesn't happen. Nobody gives anything away free. That means you're going to wipe out your account. The best thing that you can do is just put actual cash into the exchange and buy at what is called spot. Spot means you own it. If you came in here and bought Axie Infinity at around $11.20, for example, and even if it came down 84%, you said, I don't care, I'm holding. And then you said, I'm still holding, and it goes up and up and up, and you say, I'm still holding, you're still up a lot. Even though it went down 84.09% to the current price right now, you would be up 271%, even though it came down 84%. This is why I say, please be aware, crypto is volatile. This is an absolute crypto gem for you. If you understand how these cryptos move, you can make so much money and be a blessing to yourself and other people. But you have to understand that it's pretty violent to sit. For example, if you put $1,000 in here and you see it go down 84%, what are you going to do? You would sell at the bottom, correct? Because you would think it's going to zero. This is the problem with psychological safety. Psychological safety isn't real. You need to inverse it in your mind. If you do that, you're way, way ahead of just about anyone else inside crypto. That's another crypto gem. You may have seen a lot of comments where I say high five to people who talked about electricity or intangibles or power. That was like a secret code hidden inside the video. This is really all about the fact that crypto has value. A lot of people say it doesn't because they're generally pushing something that they don't like crypto's returns. But well done, everyone. I tried to reach out to everyone. I didn't get to everyone, but I will seriously go back and do shout outs to you. It's beautiful. Now, what is this? This is token terminal. Fundamentals for crypto. Yep, it's got it. Over the past 30 days, Axie Infinity generated $114.7 million. Not bad for 30 days, is it? Pretty impressive. This is real money that's being generated by the crypto ecosystem. It's incredible stuff. If you have any other sites that you would like me to track or could be of interest to the community that involve revenue and expenses and profitability, please share. I love to share these things. They all form an incredible perspective on the market. We can see Ethereum generated 160.6 million. When you see coins coming up, generating revenue and generating increasing amounts of revenue, let's just check to 7 days. Look at Axie Infinity. It's actually overtaken Ethereum. That's pretty good. Uniswap, Binance Smart Chain, PancakeSwap. This gives you an indication of where the fundamentals may be playing in. This is really, really useful. Now, when you look across 365 days, if you thought about all the cryptos as just one company, they generated, all of these cryptos generated $7.17 billion. That is pretty impressive. People who say crypto has no value, Bitcoin doesn't mean anything, it's so intangible, you know, intangible like electricity and intangible like the internet. Yeah, they're kind of missing the point. As part of our process, we always look through the derivatives on Binance, paying attention to the change in the price of the derivatives contract in the past 24 hours. 24-hour trading volume is basically 47 billion. 24-hour open interest is 7 billion. Now, let's have a look at these percentages. We see Bitcoin is around 2.5%. Ethereum, a bit lower at 2%. That means Bitcoin has more interest. Now, we can see some of these things turning negative. It was very green yesterday. Ethereum Classic ETC 6.8%, Theta 12.5%. Let's keep on going down. Seeing anything interesting? IOTA 9.4%, BEL 12.2%. It's really, this kind of analysis just helps you to identify things that are moving underneath the radar. Acro 13.2%, NEAR 10.9%. Wow, look at Alice. Alice is rocking at 50.8%. What you will witness, ICP at 26.5%, you'll see over time things tend to group together. The understanding of groups is something I haven't even covered yet. It's really important to understand that there are leaders that get pulled up. So for example, Axie Infinity, and then you see Alice, and then you see Mana and T-Fuel. This is really, really interesting stuff. Keep your eyes on groups. It's very powerful. That's another hidden crypto gem. How many do you have so far? It's pretty interesting. Yesterday, everything was green. There wasn't a dash of red in sight. Now you can see price moving in a wave. That's why I never worry about missing out. Prices always going up and down, up and down. That's a very important crypto gem. Now, let's have a look at weekly. Weekly's looking a little bit healthier. Axie Infinity, look at it bobbling around at 114%. Very impressive. TEL, T-Fuel, Luna, Theta, ICP Flow, doing well. I'd just like to show you what Earl Stokes did for us as a community. Look at this beautiful work. Wow, Earl is just amazing. Just lovely. There's so many people who have reached out and helping. We have moderators in the community. I will be appointing more moderators. There's so many people that have stepped up and want to be moderating. I just want to thank everybody so much. It's really nice. Look at that beautiful coin. Excellent. Thank you, Earl. Much appreciated. Okay, let's have a look at Ethereum. How's Ethereum doing? Ethereum currently trading at 21.58, has support below at 2100 and 2042. You can see this upward support is holding quite well. There's a bit of fresh air. That's what I see when I look at this chart. It has resistance above at 2178 and 2253. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Dave Irwin. Look at this piece of artwork. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. If you're feeling very artistic and you want to play around with the rules or sayings or anything like that, I'd love to put your artwork up here. It's really fun to share with the community. A couple of people asked me about the flippening, and that's where Ethereum trades at a higher value than Bitcoin. Ethereum becomes number one. Now, this is a pretty cool chart. This is from blockchaincenter.net. It's basically saying the flippening on market cap, Ethereum is about 39.3% of the way there towards Bitcoin. However, look at the transaction counts. It's in excess. It's already more than 100% of Bitcoins. Active addresses, it has about 74% of the addresses that Bitcoin has. This is all comparative to Bitcoin. Transaction volume, 96%. Trading volume, 83%. Total transaction fees, more than 100%. We saw that in the revenue. Ethereum is making more money. Node count, it has about half the nodes. Google search interest, not much search interest in comparison to Bitcoin. This is really interesting. People I saw recently, maybe in the past couple of weeks, that somebody said, oh, the flippening has already occurred. It was a news story. And we just dug into it and said, yeah, maybe in terms of transaction counts, but that's it. The real critical one is the market cap. That's the critical one. Ethereum is literally a must hold. I would suggest if anybody is new, focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then focus in on some alts that you might put in what's called a venture capital bag. Just, you can afford to lose the money. If they go down 85%, like Axie Infinity, you say, yeah, it's okay. I can just hold that. And then it hopefully will come up. Some alts don't come up. You should be aware of that too. That is also a hidden crypto gem that people on main stations will not tell you, but it's an absolute fact. You really have to be careful. Let's have a look at Binance Coin. Binance Coin currently trading at 299.58. You can see this support line holding very beautifully. This resistance has become support, and we've now got a cradle, and we're above structural support at 291.52. That's really good. A lower level of support is 285.53. The next level of resistance is just above at 302.71, and one above that at 309. Binance is certainly repairing. That's great to see. And we can also see this higher level of structural resistance playing in here. If you want to know how to draw these lines, structural resistance, structural support lines, you can check it out on episode 93. It should be quite helpful to you. Rule 47, master your edge. Your edge, your way of being profitable on a consistent basis, is as unique as you are. Whatever that is, just develop your edge. If it makes you profitable, it's good. You're an artist. You don't have to follow other people. You can be unique. In fact, you need to be. Let's have a look at Cardano, ADA. ADA is currently trading at 122.26. It's above structural support at 121.27 and normal support at 119.72. It has structural resistance above at 124.11 and normal resistance at 126.28. Now, I would like to show you something I see in this chart. Remember how we drew this really tight level of resistance? We wanted to get a very rapid signal for when ADA was getting above that line. Now, if we look here, we see this peak. This peak is now important because price is moving in that direction. If we just lift that line up and draw that peak, and we can see it also touches that peak, and this peak, it's quite significant. This peak and then shot through. This is a very interesting line for us. We can also extend that a little bit. I like to be as precise as I can be with these lines. Let's just get this one fixed up a little bit more. Sometimes it's really hard to do it in TradingView because the you can see the cursor is on the line that you need to be able to see. It's sometimes quite annoying. Anyway, we can see this resistance has now turned into support. There's a bit of a cradle there. We've cloned this support, lower support line, to this higher resistance line. Again, we're trying to see how strong ADA is. When you have fresh air underneath a support line or above a support line, that is generally quite good. We know that we're coming into structural resistance at that 124.11 mark. ADA is behaving very, very well. It's good, but always remember, price is negatively biased. Price is always moving in a wave, going up and going down. You always want to lower your average buy price by layer buying at support, at support, at support, at support. And if you've got enough money that you can layer down, this is why it's always good to concentrate your focus on really 4 or 5 different coins, and that's potentially it. When you get a lot of other coins, you really either you have to know what you're doing, or you have to view them as just investments that you can put in and they just turn into whatever they turn into. Concentration is very, very important. If you have a lot of money and you want to trade in and out of, for example, $100,000 positions very quickly, I would suggest going into Bitcoin and Ethereum, because you can just turn out and rotate money like that within a minute, literally. It's a very good thing to do. If you've got lower amounts of money, you might want to think about the liquidity of certain coins. If you buy something with a very low market cap, actually, let's have a look at that. If we go back here to coin market cap, you see the market cap here. If we flip this in the other direction, we can see that, well, they're all fairly large, actually. And you really only want to be dealing with the top 100 coins. Now, why do I say that? Generally, you will find that coins below the top 100 are there for a reason. They can be very risky. There's a lot of manipulation that goes on behind the scenes in the crypto market, which can devoid you of your funds. You've worked your life to obtain that money that you put in. Please be careful with it. I really suggest that most people only look to the top 20. Now, why do I say this? Because so many people, all the moon type stations want you to get 1000x and 10,000x. Well, you know, that can happen, but it comes with an enormous amount of risk. And I know of many people who are putting savings in that maybe they shouldn't be putting in because they just are a little bit desperate and they need to make money. You have to be very careful with coins that are low in value and low in volume. They can be easily manipulated. The most important thing is to gain the skill. If you can consistently turn a specific percent return, you will become rich. There's no question. It doesn't have to be a lot. It just has to be enough. So maybe don't worry too much about going for the very, very high risk. Just look at learning the fundamental principles. Get yourself strong in terms of knowledge, and then you can branch out into the deeper, darker waters with a full understanding of what you're doing. I really want you to be as safe as possible. That comes from being safe in terms of the top 20. It's generally the best way to go if you're just starting out. You'll find the top 20 more than volatile enough. Let's have a look at the technicals of XRP. XRP is currently trading at 60.45, just literally above support at 59.99. A further level of support below at 58.55 and structural support at 56.94. Level of resistance above at 61.36 and structural resistance above that at 63.17. Just as we did with ADA, we can take this particular structural resistance or resistance line, rapid resistance line, and move it up to this particular peak here. Now we just make sure that we extend it below the current price action here, and we can see that that has actually been retested. This is now another level of support for XRP. That's what I saw in this chart. I just wanted to share it with you. I'd just like to give a call out to David Galea. He shared this Bitcoin sentiment bull and bear index. How cool is this? It looks at Reddit and Twitter, and it's got a sentiment score. It's pretty cool. This is quite a fascinating diagram. What it does is it says 0 is totally bearish in terms of sentiment. 1 is totally bullish, totally long in sentiment. 0 totally short in terms of sentiment. It's very interesting. And this is a graph over time, the yellow line across this. And you can see some pretty good data here. Very great. Thank you, David. This is from augmento.ai. A-U-G Mento, M-E-N-T-O.ai. Thanks very much. That's a terrific thing to share with the community. If you have any other sites you would like me to track on a daily basis, or you just want to share with the community, please reach out. I always acknowledge the contributions of our community. Let's have a look at Dogecoin. Doge is currently trading at 19,690, just above support at 18,753 and 17,980. Resistance above at 19,990 and 21,095. This is quite interesting. What I see in this chart, if we draw the tips to these peaks and draw it down, Doge is getting very close to breaking out of that resistance. It's still under it, but it's accumulating a lot of power through here. Maybe we look at this particular line and we start to change this line. What is it telling us? If we draw it to here, for example, doesn't tell us much, too far away from price action. Let's have a look there. Again, doesn't tell us too much. This is a lower, so this doesn't make much sense. We may pick that high there and extend it down. Yep, that's looking pretty good. When I went through episode 93, it's very much done in this way, step by step by step by step, just taking you all the way from zero knowledge base to help you out. Now, what does this line mean? It means that even if Doge was to come down here, this is now acting as a support line. That's really good. We would expect a bounce from here. This has got strength in it. Okay, let's keep our eye on Doge. It's getting close to fresh air. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a spike in Doge, but always remember price is negatively biased. It likes to go down rather than up, and it does that because going down, going from 10 to 5 is a 50% reduction, but going from 5 back to 10 is a 100% increase. Just keep that one in mind. That's yet another hidden crypto gem. Let's have a look at Polkadot. DOT is currently trading at 13,433. It's just literally at support, trying to turn, well, it's kind of like resistance, but trying to turn it to support. It's very close to doing that. Lower level of support is 12,911 and 12,305. Up above is a resistance at 14,023 and 14,748. Let's have a look at Chainlink. Chainlink is currently trading at 16,632, support below at 16,305 and 15,900. It has overhead structural resistance at 17,209 and normal resistance at 17,653. Another shout out to David Galea. He recommended that I share Bison with the community. The website for this is Bison app on app, BISONAPP.com. It's really cool. Look at this. Bison's crypto radar analyzes real-time data and provides a market sentiment of the most discussed cryptos. Look at this. Pretty interesting little radar. Positive and negative and neutral. Very cool. Check it out. Thanks, David. Checking out Polygon, Matic is currently trading at 93,886, just below resistance of 95,360. That's structural resistance. Another structural resistance at 101,203, and another structural resistance at 105,585. Support is below at 87,672 and 82,328. Let's have a look at Solana. Sol is currently trading at 28,070. It has support below at 27,439 and 26,100. Resistance above at 28,567 and at $30 even. I just want to point out something here to you. We see price shot down and then reached a low, and it came up about 65%. From that high, it came down about 19% and then went up 34%. You can see there's a lot of volatility just here inside cryptos, and this Solana is a top crypto. Recently, Solana has risen from 33% up from that low point. You can see by just dealing with the actual chart that you have, it can be a top tier, but they move really significantly, especially compared to stocks. I'll just include Theta here because quite a few people reached out and said that was very helpful to them. Theta is currently trading at 6,126. The next level of resistance is 6,490 and around 6,779. Support below is around the $6 mark and 5,816. You can see Theta has done quite well. It had so much structural resistance overhead, but it moved with and in line with Bitcoin's gravity. That's one thing to always bear in mind. Bitcoin can push any alt through all of this resistance quite easily because all the alts borrow their gravity from Bitcoin. They borrow their strength, and their strength is usually many times greater than Bitcoin's. It's really good to know that. And when I mean strength, I mean relative percentage change. Bitcoin may go up 2%, the alt can go up 10%. It's really good to understand that. Now, Rule 516. This is another secret. You don't need to build a car to drive it. Now you say, Ken, what does that mean? If we go back to the Bitcoin stablecoin supply ratio SSR oscillator, you can see when this goldy orange line came down, when it hit a bottom and started going up, what did you notice? What was the association? This is important. Whenever you look at a chart, there must be a really clear association between what price is doing and whatever the thing is that you look at is doing. You don't need to be an expert and understand everything to do with the stable coin supply ratio. That's always a good thing, but you don't need it. What you need to see is a clear relationship between what happens in the particular chart and what should happen to price. We are always looking for things that impact on price. The clearer the signal, the faster the signal, the better. Another example is the Bitcoin number of transfers to exchanges across all exchanges. You can see this previous peak of the past bull run, and you can see all of these transfers into the exchange. So many. Now, what are we looking at? We're so down here. We're tiny. This simply means we're at about this stage or this stage in terms of the bull market run. We're quite a long way from the top. If you don't understand these dynamics, you can be led astray by what other people tell you. You always want to look at the chart and you want to say, does this make sense to me? You know that you can get into a car and drive it if you're of age and have a license, which I'm assuming 99.9% of people that listen to our community have a license or could at least drive. The concept is you don't have to have built the engine and the transmission and all of those things to pop in the car and just drive it, or pop on your motorbike and just drive it. Or even you don't have to build a bicycle to ride it. The concept, look at how things relate to price and focus in on that. That is a really big hidden crypto gem. I see so many people looking at charts that as a first and second year stats lecturer, I'm always scratching my head and saying, how do you make that conclusion? That doesn't bear out with the data. Sometimes people look at a particular part and then when they zoom out, it doesn't happen to other cycles. This is also helpful. Total revenue is an indicator of how successful a specific project is. It will allow you to see certain things that other people will miss. Now, if you look down at these particular, how I would look at this chart is what I would do is this. I would look at how certain things have made money and seek to track the relative difference over 180 days, 90 days, 30 days, and 7 days. I want to see the things that are overtaking other things. We can see Axie Infinity overtook Ethereum, but going back, was that the case? Well, 30 days ago, Axie Infinity was here. Was it 90 days ago? It was here. Where was it 180 days ago? It was here. It's been up amongst the top. What about 365 days ago? It was here. See Balancer, QuickSwap, MakerDAO, Bancor, Curve, Hedgic. This gives us an understanding of coins that have fundamentals. That's really, really important. That's a very big hidden crypto gem for you. Now, how can you let me know that you've made it this far and you've seen this? Why don't you put something about revenue, maybe making money, things earning interest? I don't know. You can be creative. You're an artist. Pop down whatever you like. It'll be fun to see. There's just one episode today because we've covered the trend and the timing at the same time, and the markets haven't changed because they're closed, so this can do us for today. I hope you found the content useful. Everything I do for you is free. Please be aware of scammers. And thank you to all the channel moderators for getting rid of the scammers, especially the ones that are impersonating me. Gee, they're creative, aren't they? I do these videos to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Please reach out and join our groups. They're 100% free, and you can always reach out and direct message me. I'd love to hear from you. Always remember, crypto is volatile. Please prepare yourself for the best and the worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.